bring you the pick of the pack in terms of the personalities that discuss the topic. They always go for the best. And we want to continue doing so. So we'll just give it another 3 minutes and we're good to go. You're all welcome again. Thanks for coming early. Thanks for not engaging on Nigerian time or African time. So let's just indulge them a bit with 3 minutes. You're welcome. Thank you. I'm back. And so they're all welcome. We can't wait anymore. We just have about 14 people on. We hope that 15. Good. So we're good to go. Like I discussed a lot earlier, I was telling us about this thing about hearing and all the gadgets and everything that is making it so difficult to maintain good hearing. But then let's look at what WHO has to say. WHO is saying that today it initiated the day to tackle the increasing challenges posed by hearing loss. It recognizes the immense impact of hearing issues on the quality of life and societal integration. The WHO set forth to create a day dedicated to generating solutions, mobilizing resources, and highlighting public understanding of hearing health. Well, the World Hearing Day was initiated as an annual global advocacy event for raising awareness regarding hearing loss and promoting ear and hearing care. WHO is calling for action to address hearing and hearing loss and related issues. Each day, just like this year, this event is celebrated on the 3rd of March, covering a specific theme on which the World Health Organization and its partners carry out activities based on the theme that has been chosen by them. And this year, it is worthy of note to know that the WHO is continuing with their theme from last year, but with more emphasis on individual empowerment. So the theme for this year is changing mindset, empowering yourself to make eye and hearing care a reality for all. So it was built on from last year's theme, which was just basically towards ear and hearing care. So we invite individuals of all ages to empower themselves through these our webinars and to ensure healthy ear and hearing for themselves and others with the theme, changing mindsets, empowering yourself to make ear and hearing care a reality for all. Do help us to talk to other people as you hear, as you get information. See that you discuss with your neighbor, your friend, your family, and let them be enlightened. Don't let it rest with you. As we go on to discuss further, we are also encouraging individuals to recognize the importance of ear and hearing health. This campaign aims to inspire them to change behavior, to protect their ears from loud noises, and to prevent hearing loss. Check their hearing regularly, use hearing devices if necessary or if needed, and support those living with hearing disability. It is important that we are there for one another. Empowered individuals can drive change within themselves and the society and around their area of influence. It is very important that we know that we need to be united in this effort. I remember this I do all the time. Whenever I see a Gen Z wearing a hearing aid or something in their ears, I take out time to educate them on how bad it is. We care for each other. It's one for all for one. So in unity, let's celebrate World Hearing Day and advocate for a world where every voice is heard. Join me in recognizing the importance of hearing and promoting hearing health for all. Empower yourself to make ear and hearing care a reality for all. And join me this year again in raising the awareness, address misrepresentations, and also problems that surround hearing. It's worthy of note that globally, over 80% of ear and hearing care need remain unmet. Over 80% of ear and hearing care needs remain unmet. It's very difficult to hear somebody say, I'm going to the hospital because of I want to check out my ears. So please do stay tuned as we look at this topic and dissect it by one of the best in the country, on this issue. Thank you as you stay tuned. At this point, I want to say welcome again. My name is Victoria Onu, Reverend Victoria Onu. I'm an architect by profession, and I am the Secretary General of the Coalition of Societies for Rights of Older Persons. What I do on the side is that I own one of the only international standard nursing homes in Nigeria, and we also run schools for caregivers. You're welcome again. At this point, I want to invite our one and only president, distinguished Senator Dr. Darlington Eze Ajoku FON. We want to say welcome to him as he graciously speaks to us this afternoon. He's always made himself available for these things. He believes in what we're doing. He supports us in every way. Sir, you're welcome. You may unmute your mic.
Thank you very much. I want to welcome everyone to today's webinar. Yes, we did have one last Thursday, and today we are here for another webinar. We want to appreciate every one of you who is on this webinar for taking time to be with us. I'm very happy about the topic of today, hearing loss and hearing related problems. I just tell you a little story. About 2 years ago, I had a problem in my ear, and that problem resulted in a facial palsy. I don't know how many of you know what facial palsy is. It turns your mouth like you had a stroke, and it all started from my ears. And I want to thank God that our speaker today was the person I ran to. The first ENT doctor told me at my age that I will not be able to fully recover. But the doctor, today's doctor, today's speaker was the one who encouraged me, and he managed me. And today I am fully recovered. You don't see any evidence of the seeming stroke or facial palsy on my face. So I want to use the opportunity to welcome Dr. Folorunso David and to thank him for coming, because indeed he's one of the best in Abuja, and he is at the Babalada Specialist Hospital, and I am happy that he's here with us today. Well, for those of you who are joining us for the first time, I want to inform you that COSROPIN regularly holds webinars, for older persons, for our members, so that they can educate their constituents. And some of you who are our coordinators and members know the work we do. The Coalition of Societies for the Right of Older Persons in Nigeria, we are the voice of older persons in this nation. It was through our efforts that we now have Senior Citizen Center, which all of you knew. We were one of the first board members. We've done a lot in this country to promote the care of older persons. And so we want to encourage you to be part of us. If you love to care for older persons, your membership is only 10,000 per annum. All we need is your CAC certificate of registration. And with that, you are automatically a member. We exist in all the states of the Federation with state coordinators, and we also have 6 zonal coordinators. So I want to welcome you, and I believe that you will learn quite a lot today, because Dr. Folorunso is a guru in this area. and I'm excited that he's the one speaking to us. Let me tell you the truth. Without his properly managing me, today my mouth would have been twisted from the facial palsy because at my age, you know that certain disabilities don't go away easily. But thank you, Dr. David. This is appreciating you nationally for the good work you did with Dr. Wosho and me for the period that I was under your care. So let me welcome everybody. And I tell you to watch out for all the other webinars we're going to have. We have about 13 webinars this year, almost one every month. This is for March. We've had last week the one of February, and we're going to have one every month, and 1 or 2 months we'll have 2. So I welcome you and hope that you will continuously join us. Those of you who are not yet members, just place a call, and joining the coalition is not a difficult thing. Thank you very much, and I wish us happy listening.
Thank you so much, Senator. We're so grateful to have you here. At this point, we want to fly. We want to see if we can save some time since data is now very expensive. We'll be going on to introduce our speaker for today. Please, before I do so, if you have not written your name and your email so that we can always reach you directly with these webinars, kindly do so. Also, tell us your organization. If you have any questions, go to the chat box, put it down so that we can consider it while the talk is going on. Would appreciate it if you are very organized about this. If you want to speak, put up your hands, and then you only speak when called. Please do not speak sporadically. Let us keep to these rules and we're good to go. So you're all welcome. Today, to take us through this adventure is Dr. Folorunso David Femi, a senior consultant, ENT head or neck surgeon in University of Abuja Teaching Hospital, UATH, and a senior adjunct lecturer, Faculty of Health Science, University of Abuja. He is a fellow of West African College of Surgeons, FWACS. He is also a fellow of National Postgraduate Medical College of Nigeria, NPMCN. He is a fellow of International College of Surgeons, FICS, a member of the Medical and Dental Consultants Association of Nigeria, MDCAN. Dr. Folorunso David Femi is a member of the American Academy of Otolaryngology, Head and Neck Surgeons, AANHNS. A member of International Surgical Sleep Society. He is also a member of Global Coalition of Hearing Health. He has produced a lot of publications, more than 19 publications in both international and local journals. You can see the pedigree of whom is going to, the kind of speaker we have. Join me to celebrate as we call on Dr. Folorunso to take the stage. You're welcome, sir. You may unmute your mic. Thank you.
Okay. Okay. Good afternoon. I don't know. Are you hearing me?
We are hearing you.
Are you hearing me?
Yes, please go ahead.
Oh, okay. 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 Distinguished Senator Dr. Eze Ajoku, OFR, and our Reverend Victoria Onu, and other coordinators and the whole team. I want to thank you for opportunity to be in your midst today and for us to educate ourselves on this important topic. And I must comment, Senator, that is one of our best in the sense that over the few years we've come to know ourselves, that's one unique thing I notice about him: humility. He will come to the clinic and you just sit down quietly. It's difficult to know that this is somebody of this pedigree and all of that. So we thank you for the humility. We thank you for what you are doing and what you have done for the country and what you are doing for the elderly. And I know that you are doing great job, and all of us, we appreciate you for that. Thank you so much. Not to waste time, WHO, in their own wisdom, they decide to create a day. So that means it must be very for hearing. Okay. So, and every year they give different theme. And what they are looking at this year is changing the mindsets. Because we know that in a medical balance, for you to accept treatment, for you to believe, to even go to the hospital in the first place, your mindset has a lot of role to play. It's just like 2 days ago, somebody had a stroke. He had stroke, and my pastor called me. He said, "Please, Dr. David, because I'm in charge of welfare and the church, said, please go and attend to this fellow." And immediately from the place, we brought him to Gariki Hospital. And he got there. When he wanted to start treatment, he said that he told him from the house. Some people called him that he should not accept treatment. He should not allow them to even give injection. That he should go back to the field. That's one concussion. That's something they want to use for him. And we try our best to convince him, but it was difficult. So you can see what mindset can do. The mindset that it can only get cured in a local way. And we know that the first 48 hours when it comes to stroke is very important. That's the time we can do whatever, a lot, but we lost that opportunity, and that has to do with mindset. Then to empower yourself to hear and hearing care and a reality for all. Now, we except we in ENT department that we know the implication of somebody who is not hearing. In fact, in the classification of disabilities, hearing loss, most times it takes number 2 or number 3 when it comes to things that can cause a lot of issues in the life of elderlies. Now, because we know why this topic is very important, we know that somebody who cannot hear very well, it will get to a time that it will withdraw from society. And so some of
We are sorry, he's having network problem, but we believe he will come back.
Okay, sir.
Well, I just spoke to him and he's having a network problem. He's trying to change his location, and I'm sure that very soon he will come back to us. And oftentimes, we as older persons do not appreciate this topic. And I believe that today we'll gain a lot more knowledge, because the ear is directly connected to the brain. And it is important that we stay on and listen to him. But in the meantime, please write your name, your NGO, and your address, your phone number, your website, and your email, so that COSROPIN will continue to contact you. We hope Dr. David sorts out his network issue now.
Please check my own device whether it is working. Okay, hello. Sorry, I was thrown out. I have to use another device. I don't know what's happening right now. Network is not so friendly today. We've had a better day than this. So while we're waiting for the speaker to come back in, while we're waiting for him to come back in, so probably we should start off a conversation. Do you have any experience that has to do with your hearing, and how did you handle it? How was it handled? Any experience that had to do with your ears or hearing, and how did you handle it? Is there anybody that can share while we wait for our speaker to come back on? You need to come and check this for me. Check and see if anybody is answering.
Hello, can I make an observation?
Yes.
I think when you take down the video, it will enhance the network.
Okay.
It will help.
If everybody takes down their videos.
Yes, from experience.
But we don't have too many people showing their pictures of video.
It's all right. It's okay. I thought I should just make the observation. It's all right.
All right. Yeah, I know. Thank you very much. I guess I'm the only video running at this point. Okay. Is there anybody that can share with us their experience with hearing? Anybody at all?
Yeah, can I share? Venerable Onwuz Durumba.
Okay. Please do.
Just a quick one.
Branch at Kosa, let's see. What did they
Mute her, please.
Well,
hello. So please do go on. Kindly mute her.
I'm 76 this year.
Wow.
And I discovered that at a point, I wasn't hearing very well with my left ear. You probably would need to speak closely to my right part of the ear for me to hear. Even my wife was making that complaint. About 15, more than 15 years ago,
Mute everybody.
I had visited the ENT, and the doctor who attended to me then said he would give me olive oil to apply for 3 days, and I come back to him. And I did that, and then I got to the hospital. To my amazement, he had to syringe me, and if you see the kind of things that came out of my ear, caked, solid things like that, like, small caked substances. I was amazed myself. And it was as if my ear just opened. I could hear even the slightest noise far away. I was surprised myself. But I kept on. He now said to me that what has happened is that I have a lot of wax. I had a waxy ear. I don't know how that came on, and for many years, over 20 years, all I did was just using cotton board. But I was warned that cotton board is not even very good. So last year, that was my 75th year here, I started experiencing that. So I normally do a routine checkup yearly. So my doctor then said, well, why don't we do all round? So I said, okay, I would also like to see an ENT doctor. And then when I went back again, it was a similar thing they asked me to do. Yeah. So he tested my hearing and said that at my age, I was very fortunate. He said people of my age have lost some ability to hear, and that mine was still about 75%. I was really thrilled. They also did what they call syringing again. And again, I found that, these caked substances, which he says is the wax that forms in my ear, especially the left one, that I need to be doing it regularly so that my hearing will not be impaired. I thank God that I was able to do that. Some of these things require being intentional and helping oneself. So I can hear even at the shortest distance. Even very far, someone could say something I wasn't doing before. So I don't know whether that helps anybody who may be having a and then could attempt to go to their doctors for syringing. That's what they call it. Thank you. That's what I want to. Thank you, Victoria. I'm done.
Yes, thank you so much. That was awesome. Sharing that, most of the time when people talk about yearly checkup, nobody talks about checking of their ears. I've never heard of that. I've never checked my ears. I know that people do dental checkup, eye checkup, but I rarely ever heard anybody say, I'm going for an ear checkup. So sharing that was very, very awesome. And I'm sure that somebody somewhere would also learn from that and check themselves up next time they go to do their yearly checkup. Thank you very much, sir. We are most grateful.
You're welcome, Victoria. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Is there any other person in the house? I don't know why we're having problems with our speaker coming on. I was thrown out. I had to use another device. So I don't know. So while we are waiting for him, we would like to take any other take on this hearing issues.
Good afternoon, Ma.
Good afternoon. Please say your name.
Everyone. I am Okeke Cynthia.
Okay.
Okay, and
Good afternoon.
good
God
afternoon.
bless you.
Thank you. When I saw this awareness flyers. I was really excited about it. But I just want to say a few things that hearing loss and then creating hearing awareness shouldn't just be focused on older people. The young ones among us here should also be very cautious when it comes to their hearing. I also have an experience with my own ears. So it was an afternoon while I was receiving lecture at Enugu State University. Then somebody suddenly just banged a table behind me. It was just a sudden bang that I was not really expecting after lecture, and that was it. I woke up the next day and everything suddenly became so loud and unbearable. It was as if I was hearing times 100 more than the usual way of hearing. So I went to the hospital to see an ENT. That was in Enugu, and after the hearing checkup and everything, the feedback was my ears were fine. There's nothing wrong with my ear, but the symptoms just kept happening. I could not really be in a noisy, not really a noisy place. Let's say, for example, a church. I couldn't go to church anymore because everything suddenly became so loud. A normal gathering of people became so unbearable, became so loud. I kept on going for ENT checkup. Still yet, I was diagnosed with hyperacusis. So at the end of the day, although the symptoms are still there, but I'm still managing it using my earplugs. So I just want this awareness to also go to the younger ones, not just the elderly ones. It's really those people that are always using earpiece. You should be very conscious of your ears. Our ears are very fragile. Any little thing can trigger something that you do not know that is there. So we should be very conscious and careful. Thank you.
Thank you so much for sharing that. Yes, our younger ones, I am hoping that some of them will see the flyers and come on board, because the gadgets that we are using now and all that is very, very damaging. But I'll leave that to the expert. I'm sure it's one of the things he wants to discuss. He's still trying to find a location that is favorable for him. But at this point, I want to ask us what we think about. Is he back?
Yes, I'm
Okay.
back.
Oh, wow. Thank you so much. Thank God. All right, please do take over.
Okay, thank you, man. Sorry for that. Apology to everybody. Yes, so
It's
like I
okay.
was saying, yes, when there's hearing
Can you
loss,
mute
it
everybody else,
leads to
please?
depression. From depression, it can cause insecurity, because we know that somebody who cannot hear, it also endanger that fellow's life. And from there, we have seen poor health and then cognitive decline. Cognitive decline means that the fellow, some of them, they are not well kept again. The self-esteem is lost. So it's not a small topic we are discussing this afternoon. It's a condition that we know that it can affect the overall human body. Now, the first thing we also need to know about this is that from 65 to 74 years, 1 out of 3 1 out of 3 has that tendency to have hearing loss. And then after 75 years, we see it in our own area as 100%. There might be level of hearing loss. It might be mild, it might be moderate, it might be severe. I'll soon get to that now. And we know that hearing loss is the third most prevalent condition when it comes to disability. And according to WHO, by 2050, about 900 to 1 billion of human beings will develop that. Now, how do somebody now know that he has hearing loss, which is the awareness WHO is trying to create today, being World Hearing Day? When an individual discovers that he has trouble in hearing over the telephone, people are discussing with you on the phone, and several times you have to ask them to repeat whatever they are saying. So that means the fellow is already having hearing loss. And also, when somebody find it hard to follow conversation, in the midst of conversation, you have to ask the opponent to repeat, or you have to listen carefully to be able to pick. Ear is a very strong structure. You don't need to listen so carefully for you to pick what people are discussing around you. And when an individual has got into that means he has developed hearing loss. If an individual often asks people to repeat what they are saying, he has developed hearing loss. And if when you are in a sitting room or you are with your friends or alone, you have to increase the volume of your gadget to be able to appreciate what they are saying, the fellow has developed hearing loss. And when the fellow has ability to hear, anytime he find himself where there's a background noise, be it in the church, in the market, in the supermarket, it's called that you have to really, you have to do something for you to hear. That means that fellow has developed hearing loss. And then when that fellow thinks other people are just babbling, what they are not saying correctly, it's another hearing loss condition. And when you also discover that as you cannot hear women or children when they are talking well, like men, that means the fellow has developed hearing loss. The reason being that the hearing loss that the elderly they tend to have is hearing loss that has to do with high pitch, that is the high frequencies. So, and the children and women, they talk more with high frequency within the domain of high frequencies, while men is low frequency. That's why either a man or a woman with hearing loss, they discover that when children are talking to them, or ladies or their women generally, discover that you have to listen very well to understand. And at times you see husband and wife, the man will be wondering, why I come that I couldn't hear my wife well. He will go out, maybe discover with his fellow men. You'll be hearing them when they are talking. We come back home. He's not hearing from the madam, from the woman. She will not understand that are you hearing me?
Yes, sir.
Hello?
Yes, we can hear you. Just go on.
Yes, we are here. I'm hearing you loud and clear.
Okay, so the man will not.
Yes, we are hearing you.
Okay, so the man will not be wondering, could it be that the wife is now stubborn? That the wife, will be talking to him, he will not hear what he's saying, will be talking, thinking of so many things. Why my wife talking to me, but I'll go and meet my friends, my fellow men. They'll be talking, I'll be hearing. Yes, because they are at the level of low pitch, the women high pitch. And the first aspect that used to get damage or deteriorate when it comes to hearing, that has to do with aging, is high frequency. So that is why when we create awareness, it will help us. That one, you can use to settle quarrel at home, that this is this, and that is that. Okay. And when you discover that all of a sudden you start hearing some noise, or you feel dizzy, because there's some, as we are aging, which I will explain, which is the core discussion today, is presbycusis. We call it age-related hearing loss. Age-related hearing loss, unlike other hearing loss, almost always, it goes with noise. Because you are not hearing again, you'll not be hearing noise. That the noise might even be the major issue to that individual. Okay, and then feeling dizzy, from time to time, and with other hearing, related problems. So when you have this, then the fellow has developed hearing loss. Now, how do we know what used to cause this so that we can afford some? There's nothing we can do, especially when it comes to what we call presbycusis, age-related hearing loss. As we are aging, our hearing continues to depreciate. That is how God created our organs. The sight, according to WHO, our eyes continue to depreciate from age 40, and that's why it's called that so many people, as from that age, they start to visit ophthalmologists, because the hearing continue to go. Our sight continue to go down. God is generous to us in ENT, because the hearing continue to go low from 60 years, unlike the vision that is from 40 years. So WHO recently has also tried to increase even to 65, but we still take it that from 60 years and above, our hearing continues to depreciate. It doesn't that, but occasionally you could see some below 60. But when we are talking of average, that is the age that's the cutoff of our age presbycusis. And it doesn't mean that once you enter 60, your hearing must continue to go down. Some, they enjoy maybe the grace of God that it might get to 70 or 80, but that's the range before the fellow will notice all this explanation I've just given now to show the sign of hearing loss, But we know that presbycusis is physiological issue, and there's nothing anybody can do about it because it's not caused by any environmental or body system. It is really, it is a physiological issue that everybody will go through that. Now, that is why you see that the elderly, especially by the time you are getting to 80, 90, 100, that is difficult to hear. And that's the challenge we have in this part of the world, that even when some people bring their parents, their old, the aged parents that they are not hearing, and we know why, and want to fix hearing aid, but they don't want because of because of, in the first place, they don't even believe that they should put something in their ears, to hear. And because of the stigmatization, they will not want to use it. And or compared to the Western world, when they accept it readily, when you give them hearing aid, they are ready to use it to improve, their quality of life, which I will give more details so that you can finish within the allocated time. Now, what are the causes of hearing? We are among seniors, among elderly. Now, we have so many, quite a number of them that I will just mention them. One is loud noise. When you keep on exposing your ears to loud noise, the fellow is actually preparing for hearing loss. Okay? When you are exposed to noise all the time, it could be from your house generator making so much noise, especially old one, okay? Or your noise. In fact, all of us, we know source where you can encounter this noise. It's just for you to work it out to reduce this exposure to noise. Another thing that has been shown that can reduce hearing is also infection. If you have infection in your ear, please don't keep it to yourself. Walk into any ENT facility. Let them start treatment. Because what we know is that each time there's an infection, it tends to reduce the quality of hearing apparatus, hearing organ. Okay, some people, they have a perforation in their tympanic membrane, that's eardrum, and from time to time they tend to have infection because of the exposure of their middle ear, and that on its own, it can lead to hearing loss. It will surprise you that some adults, some elderly who cannot hear, it's just because of wax, but because they don't have opportunity to see an ENT surgeon or a facility where they can assess their hearing, and they go around with wax and they cannot hear well. Also, some has been shown that heredity, some families, they have hearing loss, it's trust in their family. And this ones, for you to really improve on this, you have to go to ENT facility. So some, it's natural that in their family, their lineage, they have that tendencies to lose hearing. And that's another one we call a sudden sensorineural hearing loss. Sudden sensorineural hearing loss. Somebody just wake up from nowhere, he cannot hear again. You might not, you won't have, maybe you have not seen any, but because we work in the ENT clinic where we see all sorts, at times we just be in the clinic, just rush somebody that he cannot hear, and we call that one sudden sensorineural hearing loss. And that one is 50-50. Some, no matter what you do, is gone. And some, where by God defined help, might be able to retrieve some hearing, either 50%, 70%. Few could receive 100%, but most times it's difficult. Now, we also have a condition where we call otitis media, infection, discharge, similar to what I mentioned above. Then we also have what we call ototoxicity. That is why we educate ourselves, and that is what WHO is doing. It's part of what they are doing to create awareness. It's not all the drugs that are safe for our ears. Some, you take particular drug, the knockout is funny. They knock out the hearing. And the problem with ototoxicity, the drug-related hearing loss, is that you can't reverse it when it happens. It's a total damage. And it happens in minutes. Some, they have taken certain drugs, certain anti-malaria drugs, certain antibiotics drugs, certain even drugs, some drugs, they use them for other treatment that you cannot do anything about it, but it can cause this. Now, drugs that are notorious for this, one of them that we know they are notorious for this, that the glycoside drugs, drugs like in the family of gentamicin and all of that. That is why ENT is a drug we give with so we find we hardly use it, and that's why we always talk to our colleague that when you're giving gentamicin, streptomycin, this drug they can knock out hearing, and few of them. There's some other medications. We have seen some strange reaction to some anti-malaria drug. We have seen some strange reaction, to even furosemide. Mention few of these drugs, and some we call them idiosyncrasies. Idiosyncrasies means that ordinarily, one supposed not to react to that because it's not known for that, but it could happen. So we see this from time to time in EH when patient present. Then also smoking. Smoking, you know that smoking and alcohol, they can affect any organ the same way they affect our hearing organs, because they reduce the blood supply. They also affect the ear cells. That's the inside cochlea. We have ear cells. These are the organs that help us to hear. This can knock them out, can destroy them, both the alcohol and then the cigarette. Okay, and we also have or diabetes that's not well controlled is another issue. These ones, in fact, diabetes that's not well controlled, the damage it causes is permanent, because when you don't control that is the age we are dealing with. We are dealing with the elderly, the seniors. That is the age where the organs has been depreciated, diabetes can set in, hypertension can set in, and that is why any attention we give to our elderly, that attention is not a waste, because it could cause so many things. Now, we also know that that condition we call autoimmune disease. Autoimmune disease is a condition whereby the body antibody also fighting its own organ. It happens in medical life, whereby you have antibodies that's supposed to protect you. Instead of to protect you, they now they make mistake and they're now seeing your tissue, your organ as a foreign body, and they go after them and they destroy them. And some of them used to also cause hearing loss when they go after cochlea. Cochlea is the organ, is a receptor for sound that relays sound to the nerve that take to the brain. Without cochlea, we can't hear. So at times, some of these antibodies, they go and attack the cochleas and destroy them. So that is what autoimmune disease also can do. Then other circulation problem, it can be from the simple hypertension. Some from hypertension, if not well controlled, they develop what we call hypertensive heart disease, and from hypertensive heart disease leads to stroke. And this stroke, depending on where the rupture takes place in the brain, if it takes place where we have the center for hearing, that fellow cannot hear again. But some, the way they recover from other external parts, some, a few could recover from that. But that initial damage around the center for the control of hearing in the brain during stroke, some it could become difficult. Well, few could recover gradually over time. So we can see how just controlling one condition, how it can prevent other problems happening to our elderly. So that is why the WHO, in their wisdom, is to create awareness. Now, another condition we know that it can cause this is what we call a Meniere's disease. Meniere's disease is a condition whereby the individual just discovered that, he used to feel dizzy. Apart from feeling dizzy, he feels as if there's water, in his or her ears. And apart from that, he used to hear noise. So over time, their hearing continue to depreciate. So we call that one Meniere's disease. We have otosclerosis. Otosclerosis is where the organ in the ear, the organ that's supposed to be moving the sound. We have these three ossicles. In the middle ear, you have these three bones. They are the smallest bone in our body. They transmit the sound from the eardrum to relay to the nerve. They can become solidified, hard like stone. And when that happens, they cannot conduct sound again. We call it otosclerosis. So we have all of these that will cause some meningitis. If ordinary measles, it can lead to this. Now, it's not about just knowing this cause, how all these things will cause hearing loss. But the most important thing to us as a practitioner is to now find out what can we do if somebody cannot hear. What can be done? Now, the important thing when Hello? Hello?
We can hear you. Go
Hear you,
ahead.
sir.
Okay. Okay, thank you.
I'm hearing you.
We are with you, sir.
Okay, thank you so much. Now, what do we do when somebody does not hear well? What can we do? Now, we have situation on ground whereby we don't have ENT facility in all the local government, in all the villages and all of that in Nigeria. Now we are to be an ambassador, and that's what WHO, what they are doing. And that is what we celebrate every year. In fact, I just came back from National Hospital where we had a canopy to sensitize people and all of that. The same thing we do every year in Gokolada. Okay. Now, what do we do? What we can do is to create awareness, and that is the great thing I've seen with this your team, and I want to thank you for this, for being for helping humanity, because treatment is not just when you meet a doctor to treat you. Treatment begins when you are able to speak to somebody, because ignorance in this part of the world is so huge. The treatment begins when you, because now I'm talking about how do we care for people that have hearing loss. The treatment begins when you're able to convincingly talk to somebody. That I noticed that, some of us will travel home, either during celebration or during whatever, we travel home, and you notice that some people, you are talking to them in your compound or wherever you travel to, and they tend not to hear well. Some of them, you meet them, you discover that they used to have a lot of discharge from ears. Some of them, ordinary wax. Somebody in the village has been carrying wax for 10 years. He doesn't understand why. Some of shame, they've withdrawn from society just because of simple thing. Just wax to flush it and they be hearing well. So the treatment starts from our creating awareness. And that is what we are doing now, to be able to talk to individual boldly that, see, you have this problem. Let's find out what we can do. And it starts by telling them that you need to see an ENT clinic where they can further evaluate your hearing. Because we have a machine we call a pure tone audiometry and then tympanometry. This machine, what they do is that when we see a patient, the first thing when we use our scope to look into the canal, and there's nothing blocking the canal, either the wax or stone foreign body, because this here we are seeing is divided into 3 parts. The one you can touch there up to the hole where we put cotton board, even though we discourage usage of cotton board. The one that you always put cotton board inside, and with this the one you're holding outside, we call it outer ear. Behind that, we have another cavity, another space. We call that one middle ear. That middle ear, that is one that is connected to the nose. It has a tunnel that connects to the nose. The one after that, the middle is the inner ear. That is where we have the cochlea attached to with nerves attached to the brain. Each part is very important to us. When you come to the ENT facility now to examine, you want to check the canal. Is there anything blocking it? Is there anything like wax, anything like foreign body? You see a fungal infection? You want to check this, and all this one, they are straightforward. It's just to wash them out, and the hearing becomes normal, simple. And we see this among the elderly very well, who are living far from where they have access to ENT, who are also have gone to hospitals. I mean, some primary center where they couldn't identify the problem. Okay. So it's very funny. Some people bring their parents from village. We just discover that because they started laughing at their parents at home. So they bring them to city and discover that just a wax. Immediately we wash the air. Some of them, the woman will be shouting. And I can hear. It becomes, that at times our clinic becomes a party clinic where people will be shouting, "Hey God, thank you," all those things. Because some used to think that the hearing loss could be a big issue that could not be resolved. So that is one aspect. Then the middle ear, most time, what used to cause the middle ear problem is when there's water in the middle ear. The water is not coming from bathing. The water is coming from the system. Especially, it can happen to people with allergy. People with allergy, the tube that connects their middle ear to the back of their nose is blocked due to reaction from allergy, catarrh all the time, blowing the nose all the time. The way the nose is blocked, the same way that tube blocked. Once that tube is blocked, the fellow cannot hear well. The water will fill up the supposed to be filled with air. So that one too is a simple treatment. Some of them, they come to the clinic, we use drugs to dry the water and they start hearing well. And when we cannot dry the water with all the medication we have used, we now use a tube to drain the water and their hearing come back to normal. Some other group, what they have is possibly they have some growth inside the middle ear that has become solidified, blocking the the airway, or their ossicles, the bone that I told us used to conduct your hearing is already solidified, and all of these things will take care of them. Now, the one that will be very difficult to treat is the one in the inner ear. This is the one that used to involve the nerves. That is why we have 3 types of hearing loss. We have conductive. Conductive is the hearing that is affecting the outer ear that I've explained. The one that's affecting the middle ear that I told you, it could be water filling the middle ear. It could be congestion, inflammation. All this one, we call them conductive. That means they are not involving the nerves. It is in the third compartment, inner ear. That is where we have the nerve. That any damage to that one, we call it censorineuria. That is affecting the nerves. That the damage there most time is difficult because damage to nerve, any part of our body is difficult to recover. Okay, so now if we now check, we check the outer ear, the middle ear, we couldn't see, and we now use a machine, pure tone odometry. We attach earpiece to the patient. We'll be pressing body to know the level of hearing and to know if it's coming from inner ear. If it's coming from inner ear, we now want to do a lot of detailed evaluation to know what could be responsible. Could it be viral infection? Could it be meningitis? Could it be autoimmune that I've explained? Could it be damage from hypertension, from uncontrolled diabetes? So some of these aspects that I've mentioned earlier on. So we want to find out. Now, if we now discover that the level of hearing has gone so the level of hearing loss has gone so bad, we are now left with nothing, because at that level we can't use drug to treat. At that level, the only treatment acceptable to ENT is to now use hearing aid. And I want to say emphatically here that people discriminate against hearing aid, and we don't know why. Hearing aid and glasses, they serve the same function. They are both amplification devices. They are to amplify sight. They are to amplify hearing. The same function. But we don't know why they hate our own, but they like to use glasses. Okay? Because what it does is that when people are talking to, because nobody will be talking to you and be shouting. I can't say, how are you? Come here. Well, nobody will talk to you and be shouting. So people, that's what we call speech frequencies. So, but that hearing aid has ability to convert speech frequency to make it loud, that the fellow will hear well. The fellow will be hearing like a baby. That's the truth of hearing aid. And we have types of hearing aid. We have the one that you can hang outside. We have the one that is done, you can attach it to the glasses. We have the one that is buried inside here. Nobody will even see it. For those who don't want anybody to know that it's very airy. We have different types, but ignorance has not made people to come forth, to come and find out all types of hearing. How do we? And we have the one we call a digital and analog. Analog is very cheap. For people who don't have money, analog, they can make do with that. It's just that the quality is not the same thing with digital. It's just like the OTV and the DSTV. The difference is wide apart, okay? So, but the digital is more expensive, but the quality and then the sound resolution is fantastic. So some even have Bluetooth, such that when you have that hearing, then you have that hearing aid inside the ear. When you want to receive phone call, you don't need to take phone to your ear. Just press the Bluetooth on your phone. You'll be hearing, the fellow will be hearing well, perfectly. They're even carrying phone to the ear. And some of them, they have what we call a masker attached to the masker. Means that because of, as we are aging, if you remember from my discussion, as we are aging, our hair start to make noise. Because of that noise, there's some hearing aid. When you put it, it has ability to suppress the noise and make hearing to go high. So we have that's another type. So we have different specifications, just like the way you go, you meet a optometrist and he gives you specification you can use, either the one to remove the radiations, or I mean to remove the some things that can affect your eyes. So the same way we have different hearing aid with different quality and different specifications. So we now use that hearing aid for that individual, and especially the press bicusis that I mentioned earlier, the age-related hearing loss. I want to, at this point, beg all of us that for our aged people at home, if you want them to be happy and to come out of their the withdrawal syndrome, because of them, they don't go to the village meeting again, because people are laughing at them because they don't hear what people are saying, and because of that shame, they don't go out again. See, I just mentioned in my clinic, when some people bring their parents to our clinic, when we fix hearing aid, just see the innocent old woman, she'll be laughing. She'll be laughing. The joy that so she could see here. So that is the joy this group can actually spread to the community. The hope situation that their case is not hopeless, that when they come and they give hearing aid, and that we, of course, change their situation. It will change them from being depressed to become, somebody jubilated and celebrate. Yes, and you know what? It from our studies, we have seen that it also lengthens their age, because when depression continues and it's not, aborted, the fellow goes into the grave. But when you come with something that can change that narrative, the fellow continue to jump out again to continue to live another part of his life or her life. So this is what I know we could achieve, and that is what I know with the courage and the kindness of a senator, with what he's doing, that we can do for people, and for us as ENG2. Will be very happy to see this campaign being put forward. And then, because if you want to take off the elderly, if you want to, based on this do I call it NGO, is that to do the number one, number two. Most important is sight and hearing. It takes a lot of it takes a lot of burden away from the seniors, the elderly one, the adults. So that is what I've come to talk about this afternoon, and that is what I think we need to do. WHO, they have given us this great platform for us to go out and bring people who have hearing challenges. But I tell you, some of these hearing challenges, they can be treated. Some that cannot be purely completely treated, we can manage them. And when you now come to the issue of the aspect of those who are deaf completely, we also, it's still not an hopeless situation. We now advise them to go to school for the deaf, whereby they are also being taught how to do things. They are also, they taught them how to use sign language. So life is just beautiful. Any problem, you always have a support where people can make it to be useful. So that the fellow will at least have something to make him happy, that the situation is not completely hopeless. Thank you for this, the time you have listened to this message, and thank you for the organizer. I'm really grateful again to Senator. I'm grateful to everybody for your time, and thank you, and sorry for the frequent broken transmission. Thank you. I rest my case.
Okay. Thank you very much. I wanted to ask you one or two questions while I review some of my take home. My take home is that we should all do a checkup today and know our status, what percentage of hearing we actually possess at this point, and then accept hearing aids if it is needed. There is nothing discriminational about it. And that we have different levels, different types of hearing aids that we can actually use depending on what we can afford. And then we should also talk about ear care to as many people as we can. Thank you very much. But I wanted you to talk about the effect of these gadgets we are using now, especially the iPod. The iPod. It seems to be very popular with the Gen Zs. Does it cause any damage? Is it good to encourage them to continue using it, and so on and so forth? Could you just address the iPod at this point? Thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much. This is how it affects the ears. There's something we call hearing threshold. Hearing threshold, implies that our hearing is within 0 to 25 decibel. And that threshold, when you now subject your ear to usage of earpod that we're talking about, it increases the frequencies. Because now, what you can hear at low frequencies, because it's already permanently in the ear canal, it increases the sound that enters the cochlear peak all the time. So that when it now gets to certain age, if your own press is supposed to start by 60, you discover that from 40 or 50, you notice some deterioration, whereby people have to speak up because you are used to using something that increases sound. These are supposed to be for people who have hearing loss. Now, and this is the aspect whereby there was a time we had issue with some of these telecommunications, because we want their staff who used to work as a customer at the customer service.
Dr.
Okay.
David, Dr.
Yes,
David,
sir. Yes,
you
sir.
need to repeat that portion, what you said earlier, because your frequency, your network went bad, and some people didn't hear what you were saying.
Okay, which aspect?
The response to iPod, the effect, the threshold.
Okay. So, let me take that again. Sorry for that. Now, there's something we call hearing threshold. Hearing threshold is that moderate or the low level of hearing that we pick sound. When we are now using an external device that is close to our ear, inside our ear, because directly vibrating the eardrum all the time, vibrating the ossicles, and then the impact is higher than the normal noise and sound, the way it will have come. So it now regulates our hearing threshold higher than normal. I take that one again. When you are exposed to a constant sound due to closeness of the source, like earpod, it regulates upward the hearing threshold above normal, so that over time, when you are not using it, actually as well as aging, you now discover that the brain, the level which the brain has regulated the sound to be very high, that is the one the brain can still take as a threshold. So if you don't talk loud, that fellow cannot hear. Now, God, the ear is a very strong organ. The ear now try to, if somebody is using it occasionally, those ones, they might not have problem as much as somebody using it so much for a long time. But the stand we make as, if it's not necessary, avoid it, because it predisposes an individual to early attainment of presbycusis, age-related hearing loss. If that fellow has been destined to maybe to start that at 65, you can discover that at 50, the hearing has started going down because of how he exposed his ear to noise. That's why one of the causes that I mentioned in my introductory aspect was loud noise. Because once it's close to the ear, it becomes a loud noise. So if you can avoid it, why not? Because we talk against that in ENT clinic.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. There is a question for you here. It's a question that is asking for, says, how do one manage hyperacusis? How do you manage hyperacusis that was diagnosed? It's coming from Cynthia Okeke.
Okay, thank you. It's a condition whereby the fellow just is little sound, whatever, the fellow hears so much, okay, due to weakness in the muscle. We have small, we call them stapedial muscle. They are in the middle ear. They regulate the movement of the ossicles, so that if the sound is so loud, they put restriction so that it won't be moving so much to impact on the inner ear. So when this function is not good, individual tends to have this, or it can be due to some few conditions, either from viral infection, from even the noise we're talking about. So many will have caused that. But for individual to do to find the treatment, the first thing is to come to ENT clinic, to go to ENT facilities, where because the first thing is that you want to know what is causing this. We want to know the primary cause. So when the fellow comes to ENT, I don't know if he has gone to ENT, they were able to establish that this is what is causing this before they can now take up that. But in the interim, when this cannot be achieved and is affecting the fellow, some could use some form of ear mop, what to reduce the sound entering the ear, because that's the major problem with this condition. So, but at the end of the day, if you are able to visit ENT center, the fellow will get help. Yes.
Okay, thank you so much. I think for one of our listeners, okay, I think she may need to get in touch with you for further diagnosis, considering that this is your specialty.
Okay.
There is somebody posted a very interesting video there at the chat box. I remember watching this video, and it was alarming as to the amount of radiation that comes from those ear pods. So do you have anything to say about those radiation? And if so, is it really advisable to use those earpods? Should we stop our children from using them? So those are questions I want to ask.
Okay, thank you so much. What we do in medical practice is that, yes, you can see some things from you can see some things from social media, we can hear some things, but we only come to heart when when the authority has mentioned that. Okay. For example, now if WHO to come today and they've established whatever we hear, we see on social media, already research is going on that, to be able to, because they don't want to cause problem for people who are producing the company, because you must have evidence to support whatever the claim you have. So as I speak, I have not come stumbling to literature, or we've not been given any authority yet that some of these phones, their radiation can affect bringing phone to the ear to listen and all of that. So until we have documents to support that, either for our authority, for our body, before we can now start talking about that. That's why you discovered that you've not seen any doctor telling you don't put phone into your ear, because even we doctor, we put it, because nobody has been able to establish that scientifically. So that is why it still remains at the realm of speculation.
Okay. Wow. Okay, so thank you very much. At this point, I would like to see if any other person has any questions, and then we'll take it from there.
I would like to say something, please.
Could you just
Hello?
wait until you're called, please? Could you
Hello?
just wait until you're called? Thank you very much. Just hold on. So at this point, okay, so I don't know who spoke just now. Could you put up your hand?
Ambassador.
Put up your... Okay, there is a hand up. Okay, let's take Chief Ambassador Dr. Tobechukwu. Please, I would like us to maintain the decorum I announced earlier. If you want to ask questions, put up your digital hands and you'll be called. Thank you very much.
Oh,
so go ahead
okay.
and speak. Yes.
Yeah, thank you, Ma. I want to thank everyone, the organizers and the speaker, for this wonderful one. It's really awesome and very educative. Something happened to me in, I think, 2014. I was slapped at my left hand ear. And I noticed that after some time, I started having pains. Sometimes it will just pain me, it will itch and all that. So I don't know if it is a serious case that I need to go to hospital. And sometimes I feel as if something is biting me in that my left hand side ear. So I would like the doctor to explain if I should go and see a doctor or if it is not necessary. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you, ma. Yes, we see
Yes.
that from time to time. You know, eardrum is a very delicate organ. It's just like this nylon we use at home to wrap food and all of that. It's as tiny as that. And that was the reason why we discourage people from using cotton bud. We see people coming to a clinic with a perforated eardrum because of just usage of cotton bud. It's just to show you how weak the eardrum is. Now, we see this following trauma. We see them commonly following trauma after road traffic accident, that eardrum is already perforated. We see that when some security forces, when they slap, and we don't know as if they have nothing to break eardrum. When they come to the hospital, we see that perforation. We see that when there's a fight between friends, between husband and wife, you see them almost on weekly basis, eardrum being destroyed. Now, the first thing we want to do is that you want to find out the level of perforation. How big is the perforation? And then what is it close to the side or is it within the center? So now, if you couldn't go to any health facility that time to go and check if the eardrum was perforated after that slap, it's not too late to find out. But these are some of the signs that will show you that it was perforated, which I will need to find out. Some, if they had perforated eardrum, they will have been having what we call a recurrent discharge, ear discharge, or some they start to hear noise. Their ear will start making noise. Because when there's perforation from slap, the first thing that the fellow will be hearing noise. Then the hearing will go down on that side. If you didn't have that, it's unlikely there was perforation that day. But these other symptoms you are having, it could be psychological because of what happened since that time. But if you want to be sure, let me find out, was there any perforation that is causing some of these feelings I'm having? It's a simple test. You just go to ENT center. They will use the scope to check, and they'll be able to tell you if there was perforation or not. Then the other thing that can cause this is if you have allergy. Allergy causes irritation. Allergy causes some discomfort that you could mimic, something you could trace back to that trauma, but it might just be allergy. And what we do is just to treat that allergy. And when we treat the allergy well, it goes, and you receive your healing, and you'll be fine again. So if you can make time to see ENT doctor or go to any ENT clinic, I think that will take away all your concern and your fear. And if nothing is there, once they tell you that, it will give you rest, and then you know that it's just an ordinary thing can happen to anybody. Thank you.
Okay, there's a question. Thank you so much, sir. There's a question here that says, what can one do if noise from nightclub will not allow one to sleep?
Okay, thank you. I mentioned that noise can cause hearing loss. And hearing loss resulting from exposure to noise, it goes with almost always it goes with noise. Unfortunately, that noise most time is almost permanent. So what do? What we do most time is to manage it. Where few could be cured, but majority you just have to manage it. We manage it with drugs, we manage it with some gadgets, we manage with some advice. For example, some patients, they are so bad that they cannot sleep because of the noise. We ask them to always use devices that make noise to when they are sleeping so they can sleep. Because when they don't hear your own, you can sleep. We ask some of them to use fan that make noise. Unfortunately, to use fan that can make noise, or put it on so that noise will take away your own noise. We also have, that's what we call masker. Masker is a device that you put inside the ear. Once you put it, you don't hear the noise. But funny enough, that instrument we are using for you to put is also is a father of all the noise. It's It's meant to make noise. So that when you put the noise from outside to it will nullify the noise inside. So the fellow will feel good. We also use some hearing aids. Some hearing aid has ability to reduce noise. Then you now hear well. And apart from that, you now use some medications that you can suppress it from time to time. So that is what you do. And we have few of them that will try what we call some surgical, procedures for them that could be of help. It depends on when you do tests. You know, we do evaluation, we do what we call pure odometry, tympanometry, we do OAE, we do some of these tests, including the ABR. By the time we finish with all these tests, some we can even get to the end of doing a CT scan or MRI, because we don't look into one direction as doctors, because it might not just be noise. It might not just be noise that is causing that. It might just be that it was a coincidence that it was when you went to disco that you noticed that started hearing noise. It might be another disease condition. It might even be a growth that is causing that. So we also want to evaluate other conditions that can cause that. So don't just narrow on the noise. It could be a growth in the part of the temporal lobe close to the brain. It can be other conditions. It might be blockage of the ear tube. So the best thing is to go to the hospital. Once they establish that there's nothing but that noise, they'll manage it for you. And if you are lucky, there could be few things they could do and it could stop. But it's difficult, but nothing is impossible.
Okay, thank you very much, sir. I want to also ask, there's a question here that says, is doxycycline amongst the drugs to avoid for the ear? Doxycycline.
Okay.
Please, before he goes, doctor, I don't think you responded properly to that person. It says, if, for example, you live near a nightclub and the noise is so high, what can you do where you are?
Okay.
If you're
okay, I understand.
Some of us have nightclubs as our next neighbors, and we want to sleep, but their noise is disturbing us. Is there anything during that night we can do?
Thank you, sir. Yes, in society where they have laws, and I believe, sir, that in Nigeria too, you have such laws that nobody has been able to activate the law to test that law, because there's a level of decibel you can expose to your community to. You can, of course, I know most of us, we know that outside the country you can't try that. But coming at home here, if you can control it, to report to the environment, Minister of Environment, if you can report to them, they could step in a way that, I know why some people don't go to report, because they don't want to be seen as reporting them causing any problem and all of that, because of the way our society is. But I know in other climes, the fellow will walk up to the authority who's supposed to take care of that. Now, when we cannot do anything regarding either curtailing that or talking to people involved, what we can do on our own is to always use earmuff to sleep. It's like you sleep and you cover your ear with like earpiece. Okay, I know we have seen some of them. We call them ear plug or earmuff. Some of them, they sell them in some around us. If you go to some these people selling drugs or selling medical equipment, you can get them. You just, what to do, you plug your ear with it when you want to sleep. That's what you can do on your own if you don't want to take it, further to public discussion or to go to police station, because you can actually go to outside the country in our own practice. You can go and report to government. You can go and report to authority who can handle that. Okay, but when it's beyond, you can't do that. To protect your ears, one, you have to use ear plug or ear muff, and then you have to also have facility in your house that can absorb sand. Okay, so that's very important. You can't do more than that, other than that.
Okay, thank you very much. There are further questions coming up, but I don't think it's something that you would handle.
Tetracycline.
Asking about tetracycline, doxycycline, are those drugs to be avoided for the ear?
Yes, doxycycline was used for a long time as one of the major drugs for PID, pelvic inflammatory diseases, because it's very effective, and also for any gastrointestinal infection. So it's for years we use them. However, it's not a popular medication because of some of these challenges. But what we know is that if an individual is within the dosage and is not abused within that short period, most times it's unlikely. But we have seen few patients that came down with ototoxicity from that. But as we speak, it's still a drug you find at to buy at the counter because of the usefulness in the when it comes to our practice. And remember, it's not so expensive, and that's why in villages, that's what most people they use. But abuse is most time that is leading to this. People use it all the time for infection. Anything, they keep on using tetracycline because it's very cheap, readily available, okay, and they abuse it a lot. But we know that it has ability to cause that.
Okay, thank you very much. Thank you so much. I wanted to also ask at this point if, people, I think people can reach you through COSROPIN. So we'll be putting the COSROPIN number on the platform. So anyone that wants to reach you will get in touch with us, and then we connect them to you. Is that fine?
Yes, ma'am, no problem.
That's fine. Thank you so much, Doctor.
I have a question, ma'am.
Okay, I will take the people on the queue first. Thank you. I have Mr. Ibrahim. Can we take your questions now, please? Mr. Ibrahim Abdul Karim. In absence of him, can we have Madam Sarah Anyanwu?
Thank you very much, ma. Good afternoon, ma. And the
Oh,
guest speaker. Say, I want to ask, I know I take care of my eyes. I buy drugs, vitamin A and all the rest. I take care of my teeth, but my ears, I've never one day bought any medicine or gone to the hospital. And I don't have problem. Am I blessed? Does it mean God has blessed me? Because I cannot remember last. If up to 10 years ago, I've never bought any medicine or gone to hospital for a year. And I'm okay. Am I doing myself? Is it an offense? Am I okay? But I know
Okay.
I buy drugs for eye. I take vitamin, I go for treatment, my teeth, I go for refill, everything.
Professor Sarah.
But for here, I don't have problem. For I cannot even say
You are blessed,
10
man.
years.
You are blessed, though.
But you need to check your ear.
Yeah, yes. Oga said it all. Now you are discriminating against us. You are discriminating. Now I told you some people they buy glasses, they don't care of their ears, and so the truth is that we do medical checkup. Some of us we do it yearly, annually. Some maybe every 6 months. The same way, once we have reached the age of especially if you think you've not been having problems, but from 50 years and above, what stops us to just 1 year to come and check our ears? You will think you are hearing well now, but some they just we thank God for His grace in your life. But some they just happen suddenly. So that is why it's just good to know the status of your ear. It just takes 15 minutes for us to check your ears. So I will beg you, ma, that if you can visit any NT facility to check your ears, and you'll very happy to see a wonderful ears too. So and we will appreciate you for that. So please, ma, just take it as a part of responsibility to check for your ears. Because what we are looking for, they are more than what you are thinking. We want to look for other things. Because prevention is better than cure. Yes. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
Okay. It's been a wonderful time. Okay. I called, there's a message. I called on I called on Mr. Ibrahim. Could you please unmute and ask your question. All right.
Hello?
Mr.
Hello? Can you hear
Ibrahim,
me? Yes, please. Can you hear me?
I can hear you. Please do ask your question.
Thank you very much. We appreciate all the presentation, specifically as it relates to the old people. So I'm saying, if we still have a little time, could Doctor please give a summarized advice on how best the old people can further protect their ears from either infection, injury, etc., etc. Thank you very much for the wonderful presentation. Thank you.
Thank you. I appreciate. One, noise exposure. They have to reduce that. We've just explained how we can take care of that. Because noise exposure is it give a permanent damage, and it can happen anytime. So we want our elderly ones to do whatever to just work it out, how they can reduce their exposure to noise. Secondly, it's like habit to some of them to always want to use either sharp object, use cotton bud to clean their ears. We know. Yes, so many things. Some people use feather. They use so many funny objects to clean their ears. We strongly oppose that. So let's talk to them that is not the purpose. If you look at me now, if you can see me, this sharp part of the ear, we call it tragus, is for that. Anytime you have irritation in your ear, just be pressing it. If you are pressing it after a few seconds or minutes, you get the desired comfort you are looking for. Anytime it's itching you, just be pressing this sharp here. Just be pressing like this. That is the function of that part. Okay, tragus. And the discomfort of the itching will go down. Then we have some who have recurrent infection. It's just like the way we have some elderly, the old people with wound in their legs and all of that. Some also can have wound in their ears due to perforation over the ears. So they keep having discharge. That discharge has to be treated well, because it's a osteomyelitis. That discharge is coming from the bone, and some of those dead bone we have to clear them out for that discharge not to be frequent. And because each episode of discharge leads to decrease in hearing, so they have to always walk up to hospital to take care of that. Even they can't come to hospital every day, but you can give them the drug that they can always use, or educate them on that. Also, when the one we call presbycusis is the one that is due to age. It's also part of the treatment. That let's talk to them that they should accept hearing aid for them to hear well. Because when some of them don't hear well, they'll be thinking of so many things causing problem for them. I've told you, some used to pour palm oil inside the ear. They think that's why they're not hearing. They want to treat themselves. They won't know that it's age related. They pour palm oil, they pour hydrogen peroxide. That's not, they don't put. So by pouring that, they worsen the ears. It's just to let them know that they should not pour anything inside the ear. They should not. Ears is meant to be kept dry all the time. Okay, so they should not pour any offending agent inside the ear. It will worsen the situation. Okay, and some of them also, when they have problem with their nose, they will think the hair is the one, because when you have a prolonged chronic problem in the nose, it also affects the hair. But people pay attention to the hair more. They will think the hearing is just sympathized to the nose, because the nose is connected to the ear. The problem is from the nose, but they will now be doing all manner of things to the ear, thinking because they will not be anywhere again when the nose has become chronically inflamed. But the treatment is to treat the nose, and the hair will resolve. So some of these things too, they don't have understanding about that. And then we have some viral infections. We have some other infections that they have and is causing problem for them. Finally, anytime an adult has hearing, he has hearing in one ear, or is hearing noise in one ear, not both ears, the fellow should run to the hospital, because we know that most times is something bigger than what they are thinking that is causing that. Because when there's tumor can compress the nerve and be causing that. So ENT, when we hear that somebody's ear is having noise in one ear, not both ears at the same time, or the hearing is not hearing all of a sudden at an old age, is not hearing in one ear, not the both ears, it should come to the hospital, because we need to go further to be sure that it's not tumor that is causing that, because that's how most times used to start. Thank you.
Wow, 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 wow. Another question I would like to ask, thank you so much for that, that input. Another question I would like to ask here is, how do you handle itchy ears? Itchy
Thank
ears. You know,
Yes,
sometimes
thank you.
yeah.
Yes, the commonest cause of itchy ear is allergy. Your ear is reacting to the element in the environment. So now, when there's itchy ear and is recurrent and is almost constant, the first thing to do is to take anti-allergic drug. The commonest is loratadine. Just take loratadine for a few days, the itching will stop. Once it stops, you keep it. Anytime you take it, might be one tablet or two, you take it to stop, and all of that. Because if you keep on trying to use all different objects to scratch that ear, that thing you continue to enjoy it until one cause problem for that ear. The ear will see the result of that too. As it's cleaning, enjoying it. One day, as it's cleaning, somebody will hit the hand, the thing will perforate it. Because that's the how we used to hear in the hospital. Someone just said, I was cleaning my ear when he hit me when it was passing. And that ear, you continue scratching both in the office, at home, everywhere. You just see you using something to that thing at the end of the day. The end result from what we have seen is perforation or cause injury, pain, or bleeding. Some used to bleed from this. So the fellow now start nursing infection that will now become from simple problem to big problem. So let's start with loratadine. Take loratadine. If you have this, any of us hearing me now, just do that test. You come back and tell me that yes, it's correct. Take another loratadine. It might be 1 or 2 days. The itching will stop because of allergy. And anytime it comes back, take it again. Okay, thank you.
All right. Thank you so much. I'm afraid we've come to the end of this awesome time. But before we close, I would like to ask the President, Senator Dr. Eze Ajoku, to whether he has something to say or add to what we have done so far.
Thank you
Hello?
very much. Thank you very, very much, Dr. David. You've made our day, and it's been worth it. We've had some 40-something people listen to you today. We're sorry, but I want to really thank you for this opportunity. I know there's a link between the ear, the mouth, the eye, and the head, and the brain. Doctor, do you want to comment on it before I continue my speech?
Okay. Yes, you are correct, sir. Yes, the nose.
Sorry to interrupt you. We just have power failure, so we may not be able to take more than 5 minutes altogether.
Okay.
All right, thank you.
Okay, so they are all connected. Thank you, sir. They are all connected, just the way you mentioned it. The mouth is connected to the throat. Of course, it's the continuation of the mouth. Behind the nose, there's a tube that connects the nose to the ear. Okay, and then the eye. If you look at the corner of your eye, you know where I'm touching now, that's a tube that connects that eye to the nose. That is why you notice that if you are crying after a while, your nose gets engorged, stuffy. Maybe somebody is crying, you know that your nose, you have to be, your nose gets stuffy because the tears.
It's from his own phone.
Okay.
It's from his phone.
What?
Go ahead.
From the phone.
We're not hearing you.
Oh, okay. Oh, at what point you stop hearing, sir?
You are talking about the connection between the eye and the nose.
Okay, yes. So the eye, that's a tube, we call it a nasolacrimal duct that connects the eye to the nose. So all the tears that used to come from our eyes, it passes it passes down to the nose absorbs it. Okay, anytime we now cry, maybe we cry so much more than necessary, the water will soak our nose. That's why at times you discover that your nose is become stuffy or engorged from ordinary just crying. That's why you see some children, when they beat them at home, they beat children, you discover that it can get catarrh from there. It's because of excess tears. So that is how eyes connected to the nose. And then the back of the nose is connected to the ear. When you notice that when you have catarrh, your nose is blocked. And that's why we encourage us that if you have blocked nose, please treat it well before you travel by air. Because when you travel by air, you are going to have a lot of discomfort in your middle ear. Because the hole that is connected from the back of the nose to the ear is meant to equalize the pressure between the atmosphere and your middle ear. So when the aeroplane is going up, when the aircraft is going up or descending, the pressure fluctuates. And when you don't have a commensurate eustachian tube to open and close to take care of the effect of the pressure fluctuation, either from the cold you're having before you travel or from the congestion, it makes it worse. That's why you see some people shouting inside plane, because the nose is blocked. So the entrance into the air is not open, it's also blocked. So for those who have problem with that, we advise them to always have what we call a ear popper. That's a device, we call it ear popper. When you want to take off, you just use it inside your nose to open your ear, the ear tube to the nose, so that you don't have such congestion, or use a Otrivin to just drop it when you are at the departure time, So that is how that one is connected. And then, of course, all of them, we have in our head, we have a lot of holes. We call them sinuses. They are all connected to the nose and down to the throat. And anytime we have issue with them, they are congested, they are blocked, the passage is blocked. That's what gives some people headache all the time. That is worse in the morning. They have headache, they have congestion, because of. So all of them are connected. And that is why head is a wonderful part of our body. And that is why we call it the headquarter of the body. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much. Talking about plane, please quickly, there are situations where you are very uncomfortable because of the air pressure, the pressure in the plane. What are you supposed to do? Some people say you should keep your mouth open. Some people say you should just close your ears. What do you do with such situation?
Okay, yeah, it depends on some is a regular occurrence to them. It happens to them all the time. So the main is that they have a station tube that is very narrow or due to allergy or obstruction. But something that happens occasionally, what you do anytime is that one, if you can chew gum, especially the one that doesn't have much of sugar, because what open your ear when you are, because the pressure fluctuates when you are up or down. When you are going up or when you are coming down. When it's at the uniform velocity, it doesn't happen. Now, what you do is that you can be swallowing. If you are swallowing, it will be opening the station tube. You can be swallowing as you are going up. Just be swallowing or be drinking water. Be sipping water. As you are sipping that, as water is going down, it will also be opening your ear. Okay? Or another thing you can do, if your ear is blocked, pinch your nose and then blow. Close your mouth and blow. It will help you to open it. Okay? And then if you open your mouth, it will also help because the pressure can escape, especially if there's blockage. However, immediately you come out from aircraft, if it doesn't resolve after some hours, 6-8 hours, that means you have developed trauma. So you need to see ENT surgeon to treat some. I've seen few of my patients from the airport, they will come down to my clinic because of discomfort and the heaviness, and immediately we have to decongest the ears. So you can just be chewing or be drinking water or whatever, or just be swallowing without even taking anything. Just be swallowing. As you are swallowing, it will be opening your station tube, okay? And it becomes so terrible. You can pinch your nose, close your mouth, and blow so that it can open your ear, your ear tube. Or you can chew gum, yes. Or you can chew gum. You can be chewing gum, okay? Or if you know you are a regular person, have this drug. We call it Otrivin. Otrivin is a drop. Once you use it, it opens your nose and that connection to the middle ear, so that doesn't happen to you. So that one, once immediately you are entering the aircraft, you use it because it takes 10-15 minutes to work. So by the time you are about to take off, you will have opened your ears, you won't express that. Wow. And then by the time you want to come down, you want to touch down too, you can, maybe by the time you have an international flight, I think it takes 20 to 30 before you can. From that, when they mention that they are descending, you can use it immediately. It will make sure that you don't have that. And even intermittently in the plane, if you have it, just drop inside your nose, it will open your nose for you. And once the nose is open, the air will also open.
Thank you so much.
Yes,
At
ma'am.
this point, we want to call it a day. And we want to say thank you to our regular listeners. There are quite a few of them. Time will fail me to mention them. I want to say thank you to all the COSROPIN members across Nigeria, coordinators, state coordinators, zonal coordinators that are here present. We want to say thank you. Watch out for the next webinar. We know that there is one coming up at the end of this month. And if there is any other one, you would hear. And that is why we said you should put your email and your contact organization and all that in the chat box. So Dr. Folorunso, you've been awesome. Thank you. You made everything to be so simple that it's surprising there is a doctor that is talking. No technical terms, just simple. I want to say thank you, and I hope by this time next year, you'll be here for us to take another angle of hearing and probably disabilities, whatever it is they're talking about by that time. I'm very sure you'll be available for us. I say a very big thank you to you. God bless you.
Thank you. Thank you.
So
Thank you
much.
for the opportunity.
Thank you. Want to thank
Yeah.
Senator Eze Ajoku for always being there for us. I want to thank everyone that keeps spreading the good news when they get our announcement they send to friends and everybody. God bless you. And we do not take for granted your data and the sacrifices you make to be here. Thank you so much. And do have a pleasant day. Thank you.
Yeah.
Goodbye.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.